The planet Zorlun was known across many star systems as a place of strength and honor. Its people, the Zorlunians, were tall and strong, with skin that shimmered like polished stone and eyes that glowed faintly in the dark. Their home was a vast world of mountains and forests, where young Zorlunians trained from early childhood to become warriors, leaders, and protectors of their people. But not all Zorlunians were the same. The king of Zorlun, a wise and powerful ruler named Orin, had one daughter named Nira. Unlike the other children, Nira was small and delicate. She had soft features and a gentle voice that did not carry the usual boldness of her kind. Many in the palace whispered quietly about her. They said she was weak and would never become the strong leader the planet needed. King Orin did not agree. He loved Nira deeply and wanted to find a way to help her grow stronger, not just in body, but in spirit. Still, he worried. The dangers in the universe were growing. Enemies could come from far beyond Zorlun's skies. His daughter would need strength to protect their people one day. One bright morning, something unusual happened. A ship appeared in the sky above the palace. It was not a Zorlunian ship. It looked different, sleek and small, with lights blinking softly in many colors. The people below stopped what they were doing and stared in surprise. From the ship, a white human named Finn stepped out. He was tall with dark hair and curious eyes. Humans were rare visitors in this part of the galaxy. Many Zorlunians did not know much about them, except that they were strange but clever beings. Finn had come by mistake, his ship lost in a sudden storm of cosmic dust. King Orin welcomed Finn warmly in the great hall. "You are far from your home," the king said kindly. "Tell me, what brings you to Zorlun?" Finn bowed slightly. "My journey was not planned to end here, Your Majesty. My ship was damaged and I had no choice but to land. I hope to repair it soon and continue my travels." The king smiled. "You are welcome here. Perhaps your stay can be more than just repairs. We have a challenge in our family. My daughter Nira. She struggles to find her strength. Maybe you can help her." Finn looked thoughtful. "I am not a warrior, but I believe strength comes in many forms. I will do my best." Later that day, Finn met Nira for the first time. She was sitting alone in a quiet garden, surrounded by tall silver trees that shimmered in the soft sunlight. Her eyes were wide with curiosity and a little sadness. "Hello, Nira," Finn said gently. "I am Finn. Your father tells me you might need some help." Nira looked up and smiled shyly. "I'm not like the others. They train hard every day, but I am always behind. I feel weak." Finn sat beside her. "Weakness is only what you think it is. Sometimes people see only muscle and speed as strength, but there is more. Courage, kindness, and cleverness are also strong." Nira listened closely. She had never heard this before. Most people only talked about fighting and power. Over the next few days, Finn stayed near the palace. He and Nira spent time together. Finn showed her simple exercises to build her body slowly, but more importantly, he taught her to believe in herself. He told her stories of humans who faced great dangers but never gave up. Nira began to smile more and walk taller. The other children watched with surprise. They had always thought Nira would be left behind. Now she seemed different, not just physically, but in her eyes. There was a new light, a quiet fire. One afternoon, Finn took Nira to the edge of a large field, where the young Zorlunians often trained. "Let's try something simple today," he said. "Not a fight, but a test of your mind." Nira frowned. "My mind? I don't know if I am smart enough." Finn laughed softly. "You are smarter than you think. Watch this." He pointed to a set of large stones arranged in a circle. "This is a puzzle. You must find the path through the stones without touching the ground outside. You can only step on the stones that are safe. If you step on the wrong one, you start again." Nira took a deep breath. "I will try." Slowly and carefully, she stepped from stone to stone. At first, she hesitated, but Finn's encouraging words helped her stay calm. When she reached the end, she looked back proudly. "You did well," Finn said. "See, strength is not just about muscles." Nira nodded. "I want to learn more." The days passed, and Nira grew stronger in many ways. She practiced climbing, running, and even simple self-defense moves, but always with care and thought. Finn told her to listen to her body and mind. "Be patient," he said. "Strength grows over time." One evening, as the sun set behind the mountains, Nira sat with her father and Finn in the palace garden. The sky turned shades of orange and pink. "Your Majesty," Finn said respectfully, "Nira has a brave heart. With time and guidance, she can become a strong leader, not because she looks like the others, but because she learns to use her own gifts." King Orin smiled warmly. "Thank you, Finn. You have brought hope not just to my daughter, but to all of us." Nira looked up at the stars beginning to shine above. She felt something new inside, a quiet courage that no one could take away. The journey ahead would not be easy, but she was no longer afraid. The unexpected arrival of a human had started a new chapter for the weak daughter of the alien king. Together, they would face challenges no one had imagined. The days on Zorlun were long, but filled with new discoveries for Nira. With Finn by her side, the small, quiet girl was slowly becoming someone different, someone brave. But this change was not about muscles or fighting alone. It was about learning how to think, to feel, and to lead. One morning, the palace buzzed with excitement. A group of young Zorlunian warriors arrived to begin their daily training. They were tall and fierce, with confident faces. Nira watched them from a distance, her heart beating fast. She wanted to be like them, but she still felt different. Finn noticed her hesitation. "Strength is not only about winning fights," he said quietly. "It is also about understanding yourself and others. That is what we will focus on today." He led Nira to a quiet room filled with simple tools. Wooden, blocks, puzzles, and maps. "These will help you learn to think clearly. Sometimes brains are stronger than brawn." Nira was curious. She picked up a puzzle shaped like a star. The pieces were smooth and cold to touch. At first, she struggled to fit them together. But Finn encouraged her patiently. "Try again. Take your time." After many attempts, Nira smiled as the star came together. "I did it," she said softly. Finn nodded happily. "See? When you don't give up, you can solve any problem. Over." The next few weeks, their lessons changed each day. One day, Finn taught Nira how to listen carefully. He told her stories about humans who worked in teams, solving big challenges together. "No one is strong alone," he said. "We grow stronger when we help each other." Nira began to practice listening more, to her friends, her teachers, and even to herself. She learned to notice small details others missed. This skill made her feel more confident. One afternoon, Finn took Nira outside to a tall hill overlooking the forests of Zorlun. The wind was cool and fresh. "Nira," Finn said, "I want to teach you something important. When danger comes, fear can freeze you, but courage is feeling fear and still moving forward." Nira looked down at the trees far below. "But I am afraid sometimes." "That is okay," Finn said kindly. "Everyone feels fear. The brave are those who do not let fear stop them." Nira thought about this. "How do I become brave?" "By facing small fears first," Finn explained. "Like climbing that tree." "Over there!" Nira looked at the tall tree. Its branches stretched high into the sky. She swallowed hard but nodded. "I will try." Slowly, Nira began to climb. At first her hands shook, but she remembered Finn's words. Step by step, she reached a sturdy branch and sat down, breathing hard but smiling. From below, Finn smiled proudly. "You are stronger than you think." The days that followed brought more lessons. Finn taught Nira how to plan and prepare. They practiced working together with the other young Zorlunians. At first, some of them were skeptical. "Why does the human teach our princess?" they whispered. But Nira did not listen to their doubts. She worked hard and helped others, showing kindness and patience. Slowly, the others began to respect her. One day, a small group of young warriors invited Nira to join a friendly competition. It was not about fighting, but solving puzzles and challenges that required teamwork. Nira felt nervous, but accepted. Finn gave her a reassuring smile. "Remember, it is not about winning. It is about learning." The competition began in a large, open field with many strange machines and puzzles. Nira's team worked together, listening to each other's ideas. When a challenge seemed too hard, Nira stayed calm and found a way. By the end, her team did well. Not the best, but good enough to earn smiles and applause. Nira's heart filled with joy. For the first time, she felt she belonged. Back at the palace, King Orin watched quietly. "You have done well, Nira," he said one evening. "Your strength is growing, but more important is your spirit." Nira looked at her father and then at Finn. "I want to keep learning. I want to protect Zorlun." Finn nodded. "That is the greatest strength of all." But not everyone was pleased. Some leaders in the court still doubted Nira. They wanted a strong, fierce leader, someone who looked powerful and ruled with force. One of the oldest council members, named Yarn, said to the king, "Your Majesty, Nira is kind, but kindness will not save us from the dangers coming. She is too soft." King Orin frowned. "I see her growing stronger every day. We must give her time." Yarn shook his head, but did not argue further. Later that night, Nira sat alone in her room, thinking. She wanted to prove herself, not with strength alone, but with courage and wisdom. She remembered Finn's words and smiled softly. The next morning, Finn arrived with a new idea. "Nira, today we will learn about patience and strategy. Sometimes, the best fighter wins by thinking, not rushing." He showed her a large map of Zorlun and a set of markers. "Imagine this is an enemy approaching. How would you protect your people?" Nira studied the map carefully. She placed markers where guards could stand and where people could be safe. She thought about using the land to their advantage, the hills, the forests, even the rivers. Finn smiled. Excellent. You are already thinking like a leader. Neera's confidence grew. She felt ready to face new challenges, not alone but with friends and her human teacher. As the sun set on another busy day, Neera stood by the palace window, watching the stars blink to life. She knew the path ahead would be hard, but she was not afraid. With Finn's help, the weak daughter of the alien king was becoming a fearless fighter, not just with muscles, but with heart and mind. The sun rose over the towering mountains of Zorlun, casting warm light across the training grounds. Today was a special day. The young Zorlunians, strong and confident, gathered to face the ancient obstacle course, a test of strength, courage, and skill passed down through generations. This course was not easy. It was meant to show who was ready to become a true warrior. Neera stood at the edge of the field, her heart pounding. Many of the other children looked at her with surprise. Some whispered, "Can she really do this?" She was smaller and less strong than most, but something inside her had changed. She was ready to try. Finn stood nearby, watching with quiet confidence. He had trained her not just to be strong, but to be wise and brave. He knew Neera could do more than anyone expected. When the horn blew, the first group of young warriors dashed forward, leaping over tall walls, climbing steep ropes, and balancing on narrow beams. They moved quickly and powerfully, their bodies trained for this moment. Neera took a deep breath and stepped forward. She remembered Finn's words. Use your mind. Be patient. Courage means moving forward, even when you are afraid. The first obstacle was a wall too high to climb with brute force. Neera looked for another way. She spotted a small ledge near the side. Carefully, she reached it and pulled herself up, using balance and patience rather than strength alone. Next, she faced a series of swinging ropes over a deep pit. Many children jumped quickly, sometimes slipping. Neera waited, watching the ropes swing back and forth. She timed her movements, stepping lightly, and crossed without falling. Her slow and steady approach surprised some watchers, but it showed something important: control and focus. Further on, the path led through a maze of narrow tunnels. It was dark and confusing. Neera paused and listened carefully to the sounds around her, remembering how Finn taught her to pay attention. Using her senses, she found the correct path faster than some who rushed blindly. At one point, she faced a high platform guarded by two large dummies meant to test her agility. The other children tried to rush past, but Neera moved calmly, watching their patterns and slipping between them with careful steps. Finally, she reached the last challenge, a long balance beam over a small river. Many children wobbled and fell. Neera focused her mind and took slow, steady steps. When she reached the end, she raised her arms in quiet victory. A hush fell over the crowd. No one had expected Neera to finish so well. Finn smiled proudly. King. Orin clapped his hands, his eyes shining with pride. "You have done well, Neera," the king said as she approached. "You have shown more than strength. You have shown patience, wisdom, and courage." Neera smiled shyly, but felt a new confidence. For the first time, she was not just the weak daughter. She was a brave fighter. After the challenge, some of the other young warriors came to talk to her. One named Kian said, "I didn't think you could do it, but you were smart. You never gave up." Neera nodded. "Thank you. I learned from a friend who taught me to believe in myself." Finn joined them. Strength is many things. It is not only power, but the heart and mind working together. That evening, the palace was quiet. Nera sat beside her father, watching the stars. The king looked at her kindly. "You have begun a new path, my daughter. The road will be long, but you have taken the first step." Nera nodded. "I want to keep learning and growing. I want to be ready for whatever comes." King Orin smiled. "And you will be." But even as Nera felt stronger, shadows lingered in the palace halls. Some leaders still doubted her. They whispered about the coming challenges and whether Nera was truly ready. In the council chamber, Yarn spoke again. "The obstacle course was simple. What about real danger? What about enemies who will not show mercy?" King Orin's eyes were steady. "We will prepare for all dangers. Nera's strength lies in more than muscles. She learns to think, to lead." Outside, Nera practiced quietly with Finn. They went over the lessons of the day and talked about what might come next. Nera wanted to prove herself not just in training, but in protecting her people. Finn encouraged her. "Every great leader faces doubt. It is how you respond that matters." Nera looked at the sky, feeling the stars watching over her. "I am ready." The days after the obstacle course challenge were filled with a mixture of hope and tension. Nera felt stronger and more confident than before, but whispers in the palace walls made her heart uneasy. Some voices doubted her, and not all were kind. King Orin stood at his window, looking out at the vast forests of Zorlun. The sky was clear, but a strange feeling settled in the air. Rumors had started to spread among the council and people. Rumors of danger beyond their world. The cosmic storm was coming. No one knew exactly when or how strong it would be, but every star watcher spoke of the great storm that could tear through the skies and bring chaos. The storm was unlike anything the planet had faced in centuries. In the council chamber, voices grew louder. Jarn, the oldest council member, stood and spoke with concern. "Your Majesty, we must prepare for the worst. Our defenses must be strong and our leader must be ready. Nera is still too weak. We need someone who can lead us with strength and force." King Orin listened quietly but replied firmly. "Nera is learning more every day. Strength is not only about force. It is also about wisdom, courage, and heart. She has these gifts." Some council members grumbled but said no more. The king's words carried weight. Meanwhile, Nera felt the pressure building. She practiced harder, trying to grow stronger for the coming storm. But the doubts in the palace made her wonder if she would ever be enough. One evening, Nera found Finn in the garden, sitting quietly under a silver tree. The soft light made his face glow warmly. "I feel scared," Nera said honestly as she sat beside him. "What if I cannot protect my people? What if the council is right? What if I am too weak?" Finn smiled gently. "Everyone feels fear, Nera. Even the strongest warriors feel it. What makes you brave is that you keep moving forward despite fear." Nera looked up at the stars. "How do I stop the fear from stopping me?" "By focusing on what you can do," Finn said. "You cannot control everything, but you can control your actions. You can prepare, learn, and grow." Nera nodded slowly. "I want to be ready, for the storm and for everything else." Finn stood and held out his hand. "Then, let's prepare together." The next days were busy. Finn and Nera worked with the palace leaders and the young warriors to plan defenses. They studied the planet's geography, finding places where the storm's power might be less strong. They built shelters and trained people to stay calm during emergencies. Nera watched the work closely, asking questions and offering ideas. She showed courage in every meeting, even when others doubted her. One afternoon, a group of children came to Nera with a small problem. Their practice field was damaged by strong winds, making it unsafe to train. Nera smiled and said, "We will fix it together. Strength comes from working as one." She led the children in clearing fallen branches and repairing the field. Her kindness and energy made others want to help. Slowly, the community felt stronger, united by her example. But not everyone was pleased. Jarn met with other council members in secret. "If the storm damages the planet, Nera's kindness will not save us. We must consider other leaders." Word of these meetings reached the king. He called for a quiet gathering with Nera and Finn. "Do not let doubt take your heart," King Orin said kindly. "The road ahead will be hard, but you are not alone. You have friends, and you have me." Nera took a deep breath. "I will not give up. I want to be the leader Zorlun needs." Finn added, "And I will be here with you, every step." As the cosmic storm slowly approached, the people of Zorlun prepared for the unknown. Nera's heart beat with a mix of fear and hope. She was no longer the weak daughter, but a young warrior ready to face the shadows. That night, as the stars blinked softly, Nera stood on her balcony and whispered to the sky, "I will protect this world. I will be fearless." The sky over Zorlun had changed. Clouds gathered at the horizon like a dark curtain slowly closing in. The cosmic storm was drawing near, and the people of the planet could feel the tension in the air. The winds whispered warnings through the trees, and the rivers flowed faster as if in a hurry. King Orin called a meeting in the great hall. The council members, the young warriors, and many leaders gathered to discuss the storm and what they should do. Nera stood beside her father and Finn, her heart steady despite the growing fear. Finn spoke first, his voice calm but strong. "This storm will be dangerous, but we have time to prepare. Using what we know of the land and technology, we can protect our people." Nera nodded. She had spent many days studying the maps and learning about the best places to build shelters and hideouts. She wanted to help in any way she could. The leaders divided the tasks. Some would strengthen the city walls, others would prepare the food and water supplies. Nera was given a special role, to lead a team that would help the smaller villages around the planet prepare for the storm's arrival. At first, some council members doubted her. "She is still young," one said. "Can she lead such an important task?" King Orin's eyes were firm. "Nera has the courage and wisdom to do this. She will prove it." Nera gathered her team, a group of young warriors, builders, and helpers. She felt nervous, but also determined. "We will work together," she told them. "Our people need us. Let's make sure everyone is safe." Their first stop was a village nestled in the valley between two mountains. The village was small, but full of life. People worked in gardens and cared for their animals. When Nera and her team arrived, the villagers welcomed them warmly. "We heard about the storm," said an elder named Talo. "We want to be ready, but we don't know how." Nera smiled gently. "We will help you build strong shelters and plan safe places to stay." We will teach everyone what to do when the storm comes." The team worked hard. They repaired old buildings, reinforced walls, and cleared paths for easy movement. Nira spoke with the villagers, calming their fears and answering questions. Her kindness and confidence inspired many. One afternoon, while checking the new shelters, Nira noticed a group of children playing near the river, not far from a steep bank. "This area can be dangerous during heavy rains," she told them. "You must stay away when the storm arrives." The children nodded and promised to listen. Nira felt proud that she could protect even the youngest. At night, around a fire, Nira sat with her team. They shared stories of bravery and hope, reminding each other why they worked so hard. Finn joined them and said, "You all are doing a great job. Remember, the storm is a test, but together you are strong." Nira looked at her friends. "We will face this storm as one family." As days passed, the storm grew closer. The sky darkened, and the wind howled louder. Nira and her team moved quickly between villages, making sure everyone was ready. Back at the palace, King Orin watched with pride. "My daughter has grown into a true leader," he said softly to Finn. Finn smiled. "She has learned well, not just how to fight, but how to care for others." However, not all worries had vanished. Some council members still whispered doubts. The storm's power was unknown, and fear made their voices louder. But Nira did not let the doubts stop her. She knew that strength came from heart and mind, not just muscle. She had a mission, and she would see it through. One evening, as the wind carried the first drops of rain, Nira stood on a hill overlooking the village below. She felt the storm's power growing, but also felt a calm inside her. "This is only the beginning," she thought. "But we will not give up." The storm was near, but Nira was ready, not just as the king's daughter, but as a fearless fighter and leader. The sky darkened rapidly over the planet Zorlun. Thick clouds rolled in, blocking the sun and casting long shadows across the land. The wind began to roar like a wild beast, shaking trees and whipping dust through the air. The cosmic storm was here. Nira stood with her team in the heart of the village they had helped prepare. People moved quickly, carrying supplies and guiding families to the shelters. The air was filled with a mix of fear and determination. Finn stood beside Nira, his eyes scanning the stormy sky. "This is what we prepared for," he said firmly. "Now is the time to stay calm and work together." Nira took a deep breath. She could feel her heart pounding, but her voice was steady. "Everyone, please stay in the shelters. Help each other and stay safe. We will get through this." The storm hit with a powerful force. Thunder rumbled like giant drums, and lightning split the sky in jagged flashes. Rain fell in heavy sheets, flooding the rivers and making the ground slippery and dangerous. Inside the shelters, families huddled together. Nira moved from room to room, checking on everyone. She helped calm the frightened children and reassured the elders. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed outside. One of the shelter's walls had started to weaken under the storm's pressure. Nira rushed outside with her team. Using ropes and wooden beams, they worked quickly to support the wall before it could fall. The people watched with hope as Nira led with courage and skill. Her calm presence helped everyone feel stronger. Meanwhile, other villages were not as lucky. News came that some places had been badly damaged. Roads were blocked by fallen trees, and some homes had been destroyed. Nira's heart ached, but she did not lose hope. She helped organize teams to clear paths and bring aid to those in need. With Finn's guidance, they used human technology, combined with Zorlunian knowledge to send messages and coordinate rescue efforts. At one point, Nira found herself facing a flooded bridge that blocked a supply route. The water was fast and deep. Many warriors hesitated to cross. Nira stepped forward. "We must find a way. Our people need these supplies." She led a group to find a safer path and helped build a temporary bridge using strong vines and wood. It was hard work, but the team succeeded. When the storm finally began to calm after several days, the people of Zorlun saw the damage, but also the strength of their community. Nira stood with her father and Finn, looking at the village. King Orin smiled proudly. "You have done well, Nira. You have proven your strength not by fighting, but by leading with heart." Nira smiled back. "I could not have done it without everyone's help." Finn nodded. "This is the true power of unity." Even the council members who once doubted Nira began to see her differently. They recognized that leadership was about more than physical strength. It was about courage, wisdom, and kindness. That night, as the stars returned to the sky, Nira stood on the palace balcony. She thought about the storm, the challenges, and the people she had come to care for deeply. I'm not just a weak daughter," she whispered to the stars. "I am a fighter, and I will protect my people no matter what." The days after the cosmic storm passed were filled with hard work and quiet hope. The people of Zorlun came together to rebuild their homes, clear the paths, and restore the lands that the storm had touched. The sky was clear again, and the warm sunlight filled the world with life. Nira walked through the village, her heart full of pride. The villagers greeted her with smiles and words of thanks. Children ran to her, excited to show how strong they were becoming, and elders nodded respectfully. Nira's journey from the weak daughter to a brave leader was known far and wide. King Orin watched his daughter closely. He could see how much she had changed. She was no longer the small, quiet girl who doubted herself. She had grown into a leader who inspired others with her courage and kindness. One morning, the king called a gathering in the great hall. The council members, the warriors, and many villagers came together. The room was full of anticipation. King Orin stood at the front, his voice strong and clear. "My people, we have faced great challenges, and together we have overcome them. Today, I am proud to announce that Nira will be named the heir to the throne." A murmur of surprise spread through the crowd. Some whispered doubts, but many cheered. Quietly, Nira stepped forward, her heart steady. "I will do my best to lead with wisdom and courage," she said simply. "I will protect Zorlun and all of its people." Finn stood nearby, smiling proudly. He had seen Nira grow stronger every day and knew she was ready. After the ceremony, many came to congratulate Nira. Kion, the young warrior who once doubted her, spoke with respect. "You have shown us all what true strength means." Nira smiled. "Thank you. I could not have done it without everyone's help." As the weeks passed, Nira began her new role. She met with leaders, helped plan for the future, and worked to strengthen the bonds between the villages. She knew challenges would come, but she was no longer afraid. One evening, as the sun set behind the mountains, Nira and Finn sat together on a quiet hill. The sky was painted with colors of orange and pink. "Do you think I am ready?" Nira asked softly. Finn looked at her with gentle eyes. "You have already proven you are ready. Leadership is a journey, not a destination. You will learn and grow every day." Nira nodded. "I want to make Zorlun a place where everyone can be strong in their own way." Finn smiled. That is the true spirit of a leader. As night fell, the stars shone brightly over Zorlun. Nira stood tall, ready to face the future. The human who had arrived by accident had helped raise a daughter of an alien king into a fearless fighter, and now a leader. Together they had shown that strength comes in many forms, and that with courage and heart, even the weakest can become heroes.